Eagles running back Saquon Barkley joining us here on Inside Training Camp. Sweatpants was a choice.
Yeah.
I did not go with sweatpants today.
Right, I can see.
It's a little humid. It's not as hot as it's been, but is it water weight we want to shed? What we want to do?
No, just like sweating a little bit more in camp. I'm not a crazy sweater, but I try to put a little extra on top so I can sweat a little more. It's a little style, I guess you can say. I like the golf fit, though. Like you're ready to go low.
I mean, right now I'm having fun, but otherwise I wish I was golfing, no doubt about it. Look, it's a new offense. There's been a lot of talk about that. Sean Mannion is the offense. Let's start there. Let's start with your grade on Sean Mannion and maybe what surprised you so far about him.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to, put a grade out on anybody right now. I don't want to go out there and be like he's just mad genius, even though I truly believe that. That's not fair to anybody. I think right now we're all coming in, we're buying into the new system, trying our best to learn it, each install getting better and better. I think he's doing a great job of, being a leader of the group. Obviously, it's a system that he's very, aware of, and he knows a lot of it, and it's giving us the information that we need, and he's doing a great job of calling it up. We're going against Vic. Vic is known to be one of the best defensive coordinators of all time, one of the best coaches of all time, so that's a great challenge, and he's doing a really good job for us.
Vic in his press conference today said, the defense has won the last couple of days in his own humble but also a little bit of a jab type of way. But is that part of it? Is like, okay, we're going to be seeing Fangio-style defenses, so let's work against it in camp and let's find some answers to it.
I'll say that week one they got us. I don't want to make any excuses. They should. They're running a system that they know already, and we're learning something new. Right now, I think it's 2-1. Second week, I think it's 2-1. Some people may disagree. I have that conversation with all the guys in the locker room after. But yeah, you see this kind of defense all around the league, and our defense run at a high level. I think they're the best in the league. I know they're the best in the league. So the fact that we get to go against them every single day is only going to make us better, and it's great competition. And we want to be a championship team, and you need a championship defense and a championship offense, and we're trying to build to that.
Our guy Michael Robinson back in studio. He was a quarterback at a little university a little bit west of here. You may have heard of him.
The greatest university of all time.
There you go. You are. Mm-hmm. We were talking to him about this style of offense, right, and some of these stretch runs. And I said, what do you think that's going to do for Saquon? He says, it's going to be phenomenal, and it's going to allow him to hit some home runs. Do you agree with that assessment? And some of these stretch runs that you're going to be running here, what's it going to do for you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Not only for me, I think for all the backs. Tank's a very great back. Will Shippett's a great back. All of our guys here are great backs, but just continue to buy into the offense, continue to buy into the system, understand what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish, get a great feel, make sure that we're all aligned, we're all one unit and moving at the same, and, reading it gap by gap, being patient, and when opportunity comes, make plays. And we're learning that, and we're doing that day by day right now, and I feel like we're getting better at it.
Tagging in my partner, Brian Baldinger's here.
What's up, baby?
Saquon, it's a team thing here, so I wanted to get involved here.
Yeah.
What's the difference for a back? I mean, just for the people out there, being 8 yards deep, the quarterback under center versus being in shotgun. And the differences for you making the reads and seeing things develop.
Yeah, the best way I can explain that, a lot of backs that come from college, or when I was in college, a little bit different now. You see a little more under center, but when I was in college, we all wearing gun.
Yep.
I don't think I went under center one time in college. And you see a lot of guys, they come from college, and they struggle in NFL when they got to get into the dot, and you got to run outside zone. You're so used to running duo, inside zone. The difference is, for me, I feel like it gives me an opportunity to get downhill a little bit quicker. It gives me an opportunity to manipulate the defensive linebackers a lot better. And you just got to continue to trust your offensive line, because they're coming off the ball, they're flying off the ball, and you know the type of guys that we have, how they're moving off the ball. Let them do what they do best. Put yourself in the right gap, be patient, and when it's time to strike, make sure you strike.
What you said was interesting, though, Saquon, because your eyes are on the linebackers, and you're manipulating them. Some people just think it's all about finding the hole and then getting through it, and then you do your thing. But you're seeing it from early on when you're getting the handoff.
We're together. We're a unit, right? And there's some runs you'll see that the O-line's doing their job, but it's up to me to make sure that I get my shoulder square and I get that linebacker to commit to this gap so I know I could take it to this gap. PFF grade, you don't get any yards after contact for that, but that's part of being a running back.
Take that up with him.
Right. That's part of being a running back. You got to do that. You got to know the scheme. You got to know what the offensive line, the angles that they're going on, and trying your best to put the linebackers and the safeties where they need to be, so it can make your life a lot easier. And when you have guys like I have up front, especially right now, how they've been moving and they're healthy, it just makes you excited to play running back.
Let's talk about your quarterback, because when we talked about this new offense and some of these schemes and under center and all this stuff, people were saying, well, that's not him. He's had so many different offenses and coordinators going back to his college career. How do you see him adapting, and what do you see from him so far this summer?
A lot of people that have those opinions can never do what he's able to do. One thing about Jalen Hurts that I'm a big fan about, one, he's a competitor, and he's going to adapt to anything he needs to do, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win football games. He's coming in, he's buying in just like every single body else, and it's important when your quarterback's buying in because that's the leader of your team, and we're all following him. He's buying into the system. He's doing a really good job of being coachable, and he's making plays out here. Like I said, we're going against Vic. Vic, he's doing something crazy every single day, something new that might pop up later in the season, and you'd be like, wow, I remember Vic doing that in training camp practice number 4. So it's definitely a challenge, but we're improving. We're getting better every single day, and it starts with Jalen, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Last question for me, Saquon. If you had to race yourself from 2 years ago, is it a dead heat from 2 years ago, Saquon? Are you beating that player?
I would like to say I would. I feel like every year that I put a lot of work in my body and I train very hard. So I'm very confident in myself. And I feel like each year I'm getting better and faster and stronger. Just doing it in a smarter way. Before when I was first in the NFL, it was 5 times, 6 times in the offseason, grinding, heavy, running hard. And now it's just smart. I'm still putting in the same work, and we have a great group here with Nando and all those guys who, if you see before practice and during practice with special team, I'm on the side and we're working.
I saw you working on moves.
Exactly,
today,
we're working on all of our moves, all of our details, the little techniques that help you become faster. It's not just about we all have the power and the strength, but it's make sure your foot's aligned in the same spot, make sure you're striking where you need to be striking, and I'm becoming more knowledgeable in that too. So with a little bit of age, I guess I'm getting smarter and faster.
And your golf game's getting better.
The golf game is there. The golf game got really good, but that's in the past.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's the thing that sucks about golf. Usually, when you feel your best, it's time to go to my real job and get ready.
Well, you had your outing right before camp. How did that go?
It was fun. It was a fun camp. It was a fun outing. We had one with Penn State versus Pitt. It was the first year we finally beat Pitt. We beat Shady. Somehow, some way, in years before, Shady, we play like alternating shots, and he can't golf, and he'll have to just make like a 3-foot putt, and he'll get all the shine. Exactly. He'll get all the shine and glory, and he'll talk as much as he can just off a 3-foot putt. But this year we actually had some holes where he had to play golf, and it put him in a bad spot.
Never played golf for money with a guy named Shady. Okay?
Yeah, right.
That's my little advice for you right there. Saquon Barkley, family here? Family coming out?
Not today. Family was here yesterday. There's some video of me hurling my son.
There you go.
Having fun. He was doing drills with me, but not today. Family's not here today, so I get to do a little more extra recovery.
Maybe one day he'll be hurtling on the cover of Madden as well. Appreciate the time, pal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jalen Hurts joining us here. Brian Baldinger, myself, Mike Garafolo. Thank you again for joining us here for NFL Network. Good session out there. They call this a yellow day. That's a light day.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the preparation's not the same. How do you approach a yellow day here?
Yeah, well, you approach them all the same. I think coming into camp, you're just really trying to put it all together. Got another new system. Got new players.
Heard about it.
It's a new team. But it's all about coming together. So I'm excited about where we are. We've obviously got steps to take.
You talk about a new system.
Yeah.
Tell me, I'm looking at your shoes here. Shoes look good, but you throw with your feet in this system. Is that anything that you have never heard before, Jalen? Is that normal? Is that what everybody does at this position? I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, well, I think in the coaching room, it's everybody has a different perspective of how they try to run those same plays, and I think that's what I've seen throughout my career. And in this system, it's definitely more tied to trying to stay in rhythm, stay on pace, play with your feet. So it's been good being able to do that. It's been exciting to really just learn new brand of ball. I think that's what motivates me to learn, to improve, and so I've really enjoyed Sean from that aspect.
That's one thing that we've always heard you say, and the old saying goes, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. There is no standing still. So when you approach this offseason, and it is a new offense for you in a lot of ways, does that excite you? Is that something you feel like, right at this point in his career, it could be great for me?
Yeah, well, I think the whole aspect is to win, first and foremost, and winning hasn't necessarily been an issue. It's about how we do it. And so we want to go out there and be able to play different types of football, play different brands of ball, be able to control the game on our terms in all aspects of our offense. And so I know I've made great strides in that and been able to lead the team and being able to do that. So I'm just excited with that. As you grow, as you evolve, everything kind of changes, and you got to roll with those changes. So it's been good. I like where we are. I call it the time of calibrating. You're kind of figuring it out, putting it together, and I've kind of always played the position in a calculated way. And so I think the more I learn and the more I ingrain myself into what we're doing now, I think the better off we'll be and the better off we'll flow when the season comes. But, there's always that onboarding period with a new coach and a new system, especially something as new and as fresh as this.
I just calibrated this in my head as you were saying that word there, Jalen. 63-29 is a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, counting the playoffs, Super Bowls, all that's pretty good percentage, I think. I saw you pull one out here today and take it down the sideline. I feel like in this system that you're learning, they're still going to use a lot of your skills.
Yeah, well, we don't know what that's going to necessarily look like.
Okay.
We don't know what that's going to look like, but I know we have great coaches. We got great eye for the game, and so however we put it together, it'll be put together. I think the thing to keep in mind is, out here it's really good for us competitively to go against a defense who has a built identity, right? We're an offense that doesn't necessarily have an identity. We know, we were outside zone. Everybody throws around the under center term, but we've got to see how that's going to look for the Eagles. And so I think just being very studious, being malleable in it, taking all the coaching and going out there and putting the best product on the field.
Jalen, with your experience, do you know when that identity is going to take shape? Like, do you have an idea, a vision of what you want it to look like?
Yeah, I think it all starts with the mentality first. It's not about are we running a lot, throwing a lot, what does that look like, right? It's about how we're operating, what's the level of urgency, does everybody know their assignment? I think we're still in those periods of everybody getting that down, and there are some moments where, it gets a little intense, and there's some moments where you give grace, obviously, but we're all pushing forward, right? And so I just try to manage that as best as I can as a leader and ultimately go out there and perform.
How about this receiver room? We know Devontae Smith, what he's done over the course of his career. We know he's going to produce. Everybody's saying, who's the number 2? And I don't even know if you look at it that way. Maybe it's 2, 3, 4. That's all one kind of cluster to you.
Yeah.
But you've got some veterans that have been around.
Yeah.
Wicks has got the cheat code because he's been in this offense before.
Right.
Who's really emerged and opened your eyes there?
I think Darius Cooper has done a really good job. He's always been a big body, physical, strong hands guy. But just to see how he's transitioned going into year 2, I'm definitely excited for him, along with the rest of them. I think this is just a beautiful time to get to learn your teammates. I talk about the trip we took to Florida and the time we spent in Houston and being together with everyone. That's when you get to see, the babyface song "Body Talk." You see how the body talks to you. You know what I mean? And I think as a quarterback,
trash talk.
I think he was talking about something a little different.
Body talk.
Okay.
Body talk.
Yeah, body talk.
I got
the
you.
deal. But you, as a quarterback, you get to see how they run routes, especially in this time in offense, read and kind of reading with your feet. So, I'm excited for that, and I'm excited by how we've progressed over time, and we'll continue to do that.
I was a babyface Eric Clapton combo guy. Changed the World. Remember that song?
Yeah, I do.
That was the blending genres right there.
There you go.
I'm more of a Clapton guy. You're more of a baby. We meet in the middle. That's
There
where
we
it is.
go.
Hey, continue. Good luck. We'll see you plenty down the line here.
Absolutely.
Go get that footwork right. Everything you got to do in this offense. All right.
I'll be ready.
Appreciate it,
Thank
pal.
you.